back to another great episode of Working the Crowd. I'm Brady. That's Chris, as always. What's up, man? How you been?
Pretty good, man. Just got done watching SmackDown. Pretty good week of shows between Raw and SmackDown. So yeah, we missed a little bit after SmackDown last week, but we got a lot of cool stuff happen this week. So how you doing, man?
Good. Just got home from a crazy ass trip to Chicago, and
And I need to mention this because you went to Chicago. I told you to do one thing that you didn't work out. You didn't find CM Punk anywhere. Because
nope.
if you did, I would have told you to FaceTime me so I could tell him off and tell him that Roman Reigns is the man, not him. And then also I found out Rhea Ripley was in Chicago and you didn't find her either. So I'm pissed at you about that because when Rhea Ripley's in the same city as you got to go find her, okay?
I'm worthless. What do you say?
I mean, yeah, that is a huge miss on your part. You did not find Rhea Ripley and get a picture with her.
I know. Honestly, there is so many fucking people in that town. Like, even if like I would have walked past CM Punk or past Rhea Ripley, it would have been hard to even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Other than that, just getting back into the groove of being at home. I did watch Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Thought it was a damn good show. I really did.
Yeah. It started off hot. Like I was really pumped because it seemed it kind of been like the last couple weeks we hadn't really seen much of Io, and I was really happy to see, like, I don't know if you noticed, she got a huge pop, which absolutely well deserved, and I was really happy to see that, even despite the past couple weeks not really getting to showcase her much, which I know why. They're kind of the Money in the Bank and the now Queen of the Ring is kind of, that's what they're focusing on, to build challengers for her. So I get it, but definitely I was really impressed. She's still a superstar. Fans still love her, and it was great to see.
Oh yeah, 100%. Don't know really how the Queen of the Ring is going to work out. I'm excited to see it though.
Yeah.
That's, I think, next Saturday.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, you had the opening promo with Io and, Liv and Dom out there. Dom getting beat up by girls is always fun to see. So, and, Liv going out there being herself was great. We saw more of her later, which we'll get to very, obviously. But the opening match was a very fun match. No surprise. I know you complained last week about, they spoiled Asuka's return, which I don't really see the big deal of that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see much of a problem with it. It would have been cool as a surprise, I guess, but I was glad to see her back. How about you?
Dude, Asuka was, I don't think she missed a beat, dude. I didn't see any ring rust.
Yeah.
She was awesome. That match, and again, I'll be the first to say it 100 times over. I do not like triple threats, fatal four ways. I don't know why. Just don't like it.
You were getting an overdose of them lately, though.
Dude, oh my god. But no, that match brought it, like, straight up, and Asuka took it to a whole new level, and I was actually going to be disappointed if she didn't go over.
Yeah. And I loved the ending. To me, was great. I loved the callback to the previous week with Rhea Ripley screwing Raquel over the exact way she did. It seemed kind of obvious, but it totally worked. It was great, So, and then that took no heat off of anyone else. Stephanie Vaquero was out there looking great. There was obviously some teases for a future, match with her and Asuka. But Asuka came away with the win. And very exciting, man. Very glad she's back.
I do want to point this out. I was super excited to hear her original music and also her face paint.
Yeah.
So it's like an intermix of Asuka being a badass.
Oh yeah.
Like,
totally.
I cannot wait to see where this goes. I think the next qualifying actually.
So it went to, and this is what I texted you after Asuka won. Here on the show, we are absolutely huge Alexa Bliss fans, both of us.
Yep.
I texted, hey, I don't know about Alexa's chances in this, and we'll get there later, obviously, but Asuka it's so great to have her back. She's definitely a breath of fresh air there. She's also she's a superstar. And it won't take long for fans to start remembering why everyone loved her so much, because she like you said, she doesn't seem like she's missed a beat. Very, very good stuff. So, but yeah, after that, kind of going back some of the stuff on this. You had Morgan, getting pissed off. More Judgment Day drama. More Finn being an absolute pot stirring shithead, which is fantastic.
And I'm gonna cut you off just for a second. Yeah. I also want to point out a video that was posted to our social about Finn being a shithead, and I thought that was phenomenal. Like, come on, dude.
It's like a total supercut of his little.
Yes.
Looking all over the place. It was great.
Take a look at that if you haven't seen it.
Yep, it was great. And then led to the next thing that came out was after that was Gunther. They did a great recap of the previous week's match, which you had said was bullshit. And I was so disappointed, because I was officially stating my how much I was getting into Jay and everything. I certainly don't think this is the last time he's going to be a world champion, though. He's too popular. No. And but it is what it is. I still believe, looking back after the fact, that it was the way that they did it was a good story told. With Jay being all over the place and coming in at less than 100%. The recap really reinforced that, and they did it in a way that didn't make Jay look weak. Just. He should have been prepared for Gunther, and he wasn't,
Yep.
But then the worst kept secret ever, and the fans were already chanting, and Goldberg so much that Gunther had to address it 2 minutes before he came out. It was almost as bad as Rock saying his lawyer Ira Goldberg 25 years ago or whatever the hell that was. Yeah. Once again, the worst kept secret ever. But so Goldberg came out. Everyone's kind of saying the same thing. What did you think?
Whatever, dude. Like, we knew it was happening. We've known it's going to happen since he showed up at Bad Blood last October.
Yeah.
We knew that and I think what bothers me in a sense is this match does not need to be a title match. So
it does not need to be by any means, no.
It doesn't.
But it is. And apparently that's the reason behind Jay's short reign. Apparently it may have been kind of known that's the direction they were going to go, which it
sucks, because Jay could have totally ran with this through SummerSlam. Easy. And I don't think the crowd, even Monday night, the crowd was still as hot for Jay.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he lost the title the week before, as he was when he won the championship. So do I think that Goldberg and Gunther should happen? Sure. Why the fuck not? Do I think it needs to be for the title? No. And if we're doing this to have Goldberg win this championship, to have a cash in, bro.
I hope not. I really hope not. I'll admit, I was not, watching WCW during Goldberg's heyday. I think you probably were. You mentioned before you channel flipped back in those days. You're stupid if you don't at least admit that he was a superstar on the level of Rock and Stone Cold in those days. And despite the fact that he wasn't that kind of he was never anywhere near the wrestler either of them were, and even said he never really loved the business the way so many others do. It was just work for him for the most part. I'm sure he enjoyed it at times and appreciated the fans, but despite all that, you're stupid if you don't acknowledge, how big of a contribution he made to wrestling and how huge of a superstar he was. In that sense, do I think he deserves a send-off and, for it to be in Atlanta? Absolutely. I don't know what even someone like Gunther can do. Goldberg's admitted he's not exactly in the shape he was even in his last run, what is it? It's been 5 years by now or something? It's been a while.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a very hot minute since we've seen Goldberg.
It was right around the 35 and 36 era of it, wasn't it? Like, I don't think it even went to 37 before his last match.
It didn't. We saw Goldberg. Remember when you and I went to WrestleMania 34. We saw Goldberg get inducted to the Hall of Fame, and then after that,
35 was when him and Lesnar, all that happened, right?
No, that was SummerSlam. And
well, it ended at one of the WrestleManias. Maybe that was even before that. Then yeah, that was before that.
Before that.
So yeah, it's been a while. I mean, but he's clearly even admitted he's not in that good of a shape.
Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg at SummerSlam in Vegas whenever I was there, and that was in 2021 or 2022.
So it's been a minute, and he's not in as good of a shape. It was pretty much commented that he looked winded just getting out there. Didn't even look too smooth getting up on the ropes. Although in cowboy boots, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. In cowboy boots, those are not exactly something you're going to be, running around in. But I don't know what else to say other than that. I hope that he does not win the title.
I don't see him coming back for a retirement match to put Gunther over. Gunther doesn't need it. He's a star. He's hot all on his own right now. And then unless they're paying him a god awful amount of money to do this, I don't see Goldberg coming back to have a 1 minute squash match. Can I
talk? Apparently not. I'm
squash match. That later. You got it. And let Gunther beat him. Like I just don't see that happening. But I may be wrong. I mean, maybe Goldberg just said, "Hey, Gunther's going to be the guy to take me out," and that's the end of it. So
I mean, there's the tried and true. Put someone over on your way out. I don't know if Goldberg is that much of a traditionalist to where he would insist on that. Some people are that much for traditionalists to where they're going to insist on it. I don't know that he is. We'll see what happens, man. I hope you're wrong. If he does win, it better get cashed in on pronto.
Dude,
but the other reason I don't want to see it happen that way, because I want Seth to cash in on someone else. Your boy Punk. That's who.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is you got to let Punk win, and I don't know.
Win will be worth it for him to get cashed in on immediately. It will be worth it. We'll see what happens with all that though. But I mean, there's not much else to say with the Gunther stuff. It's just that happened. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. I do like the Gunther called out Seth. Speaking of that though, I like when I was loving the whole Jay stuff where he had multiple people going after him. So Gunther kind of acknowledging that hey, Seth's there. He's got Goldberg in front of him. Jay's probably gonna happen again at some point and all that. I like the chaos of it. I don't like when they just, at times when, okay, you have your, Raw after a PLE challenger for 1 month and then they move on to the next one at a time. It's predictable. It's, but so I like the chaos, but, like I said, we'll see what happens with all that. After that, we had AJ and JD McDonough, fun match. It's going to lead to AJ versus Dominant Night of Champions. I'm actually really excited to see that. I have said before that when Dom gets to actually wrestle, he can wrestle, and I love to see it. AJ is absolutely going to be someone to bring that out of him, so very excited for that. Again, I don't know if there's much else to say there, but...
IC title, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, AJ carried that bitch to the back around his neck, and I'm like, I think we might have AJ as the IC champ. And correct me if I'm wrong, but AJ's only been IC champ once.
Yeah, he's only been IC champ once. Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I'd see giving it to him again, But then again, they're obviously pretty high on Dom. We'll see what happens with all that,
God, man.
Yeah. Then after that was two of our favorites, absolutely, Bayley and Becky. Dude. Very, very fire promo segment. Now, tell me if I'm wrong here. Has there ever been like a really actual prolonged feud with Bayley and Becky?
No, I mean they've always after the 4 horsewomen thing kind of just imploded. Always had the heat, but it's never been Bayley versus Becky just straight up. And dude, whenever Bayley showed up, Monday before last, because I knew that this
you were doing the Rock move.
I'm like, yes, Bayley's finally going to get the spotlight. She's going to be in there with Becky, and Becky is going to do the right thing, like she has been for the last year. She will.
So
And
let me ask you this: does the idea of 3 to 4 to 5 months of Bailey, Becky, and Lyra all intertangling sound like a hell of a good time to you? It does to me.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Dude, they couldn't have booked a better just feud going
Yeah.
forward, especially through SummerSlam.
Yeah, because where I was like last week on Raw, I was like, okay, cool, Bailey, little bit of a adding something to it. But then after the promo, I'm like full in on Bailey and Becky. I'm excited for Lyra to get involved with it, and it's obvious that she's in that IC picture there. But I'm very excited for Bailey and Becky. Both of them, no surprise, brought it on that promo, and I can't wait to see where it all goes with them. The IC Women's title, extremely exciting right now. Until they get a proper feud for EO, I dare say it's the more exciting title right now on Raw.
Absolutely, and
yeah,
but that's
through no fault of EO's. They need to get her a proper feud going, which we'll see how that goes. So,
but that's what I was talking about months ago. Like whenever you bring someone like Becky in at high level, like she's gonna make whatever program she's a part of the star.
Gold. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what it needed, and boom, we've got it. So, and I think Bailey versus Becky is actually on Raw next week for the IC title.
I don't know that I'm expecting a clean one-on-one. If you know, I expect some shenanigans to go there, but yeah, I'm very excited for it. Yeah, to see how that goes. Is the Raw, is it going to be in Saudi also, or just the SmackDown?
No, I think it's just the SmackDown.
Good. So,
but I think it's not a Champions.
Yeah. So that was again, good segment. This led into the next match, which was very unfortunate. The Kairi Sane versus Liv Morgan. Man, that's just the worst thing to see. Especially it's anytime it happens is bad, but this being a freak accident like that, just even the announcers were flat out saying like that's like just something you do all the time as a wrestler. Very unfortunate for Liv. Shout out to Rhea for immediately like telling people to fuck off with don't be happy about someone getting injured. She didn't go too much into like I love you, Liv, or nothing to go that much out of the character of it, but short and sweet. Don't celebrate someone getting injured. Don't be that kind of person.
Absolutely not. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh fuck! I knew dislocation, something tore, and I'm like, she's done. Like, she's out.
That's really unfortunate. And the early news is initially 3 months or so, and then now nope, it was worse. It was kind of a worst case scenario, unfortunately for her. It's looking like 6 months or so, and that has first and foremost best wishes to Liv. Hope everything goes as well as it can possibly go, and that she's back and healthy sooner than later. But man, the ramifications are just all over the place now, because apparently Evolution is completely everything's having to change on it. Yeah.
I mean, she could do a situation where she did like when Punk and Dakota Kai both got injured, she'd still be around, because I mean, this is it's a thing where she doesn't have to. She can be her character without being in the ring, straight up. Like,
no, I agree. I actually saw someone kind of do a little fantasy book thing where they said they're like, the character's too hot, and the interactions going on with everything else are too good and too too entertaining. She can absolutely be just someone in the back with a sling, still pulling the strings or whatever. Someone even suggested getting in there with Adam Pearce and doing stuff. But yeah, I hope, from a selfish point of view, I hope that we do get to continue to see her on TV. But if she needs to if she needs to be gone and recover, then whatever is best for her, obviously. But yeah, absolutely. So the the immediate thing obviously was like, one, I heard Nikki Bella was advertised and was planned to go out there, probably to interfere in the match. I would imagine, like causing her a loss or something would have made sense. Obviously, all that got immediately thrown out the window, and now the rumored tag match is not happening. So they're having to reshuffle just apparently most of the card because they have to figure out, who to get in there with Nikki and the Bellas, possibly both of them. Rumors were Brie might be coming back. We just got to see what's going to happen with that. But there was, rumors of two different things also with will they or won't they keep the tag titles around. I've said stuff about it. What's your opinion on, what do you think they should do with the tag titles at this point is what I guess the better question is.
We have mid-card titles, dude. That should be the main focus, like straight up. Like I'm not against having tag team champions, but they don't do anything with them. Like it's a stale, stagnant program moving along. If they had more tag teams that were, just part of the weekly it'd be different, but they don't.
A good portion of them are usually singles wrestlers thrown together to keep them busy when they're not chasing. In the past it was almost like the tag teams were the mid-card titles because they would put them on people if they weren't in the world title picture. But now that they have the mid-cards, because they don't have enough teams to justify it, not that I'm against the women having the spotlight, not that there aren't a lot of talented people out there, but when they're getting rid of, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, who are a pure tag team, and it's obvious they don't have very much, need to focus on or desire to focus on that vision, I should say. So, yeah, the mid-card titles, I wouldn't be sad at all if the mid-card titles just became their focus and they did away with the tag team titles. Heard rumors they may or may not do that. I heard a rumor they were considering it. Now they're not, but we'll see what happens, obviously.
Well, the IC title is hot. It's hot as it's ever going to be. The United States title, God love her, Zelina. I'm happy that she has it, but dude,
I'm interested to. I'm willing to give them a little bit. They moved on from Chelsea, which Chelsea did a great job of it, obviously, because Chelsea Green is just fucking amazing. Let's be honest. But I'm definitely interested and willing to give Julia a chance in that program to see where it goes. I think she's really talented, and the rumor is they're very heavily behind her, so we'll see how that goes. But we're kind of straying a little bit here, which is okay. But we got coming after that a little bit of Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn stuff. Interesting stuff. I do like Karrion. I think that he has very clearly managed to maximize his minutes because fans are clearly into him. And his t-shirt is apparently selling like crazy. They even, he's had a swell of support. Hopefully he gets re-signed and he gets more chances to do stuff because he really does. I like the character of him, manipulating people all over the place. But yeah. Then after that though, and by the way, Karrion Kross and his wife Scarlett, very big fan of her. Brady, I just got to say, I'm still upset that your wife did not let you take a picture with Scarlett. Nicole, I will never forgive you for that. Because for one, they're actually, from what I hear, like literally everyone that's ever met him has said they are cool as hell and extremely, extremely nice people to be around. But she's also smoking hot, so I'm very sad for you that you were not allowed to get a picture with her, Brady. So
that's okay. It happens, bro.
It happens, yes.
I was 8 feet away from her. It's
all good. So after that, though, okay, we got into the main event. It was announced that Jey Uso was getting slotted in. We talked about it last week. Who's that fourth person going to be? Dude, that main event was freaking awesome. Like.
Yep.
It was crazy all over the place. Rusev and Sheamus can never be boring when they are beating the crap out of each other. And Jey Uso, the absolute just, underdog of him with it all was great. You had an extremely chaotic ending. What was your thoughts on it, man?
Dude, match was fire. I loved it.
Multi-man match you liked, right?
Okay. Yep. Hit all cylinders, man. Like it really was. And I knew that there was a big, big opportunity that Jey had, and he was going to win.
I think once he was announced for it, it was pretty obvious he was going to be the winner. But it was fire.
We've got Jey versus Cody, and it's like a situation where are they going to be cordial? Are we going to have just a straight up great match, or is one of them going to turn on one another? Like, how is this going to play out? I'm excited to see it. Dude.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, and you had a lot of, interesting stuff going on even besides that. Just what the outcome was, the win was good, and I remember thinking like, man, they still got like several minutes left. It seemed like, and so you had the chaos at the end.
Yep.
LA Knight shows up, does exactly what he did to Braun Breaker to Bronson Reed. Totally furthering that story. I'm actually more and more. I'm loving that LA is getting a chance to interact with them. He's a main event guy and deserves to interact with main event people, in my opinion. So very happy to see that. You had Penta out there was interesting.
Yeah.
But again, I don't hate it. I mean, I'm down for him and Braun Breaker having a match. It'll be good.
Yep.
Probably is going to happen at some point. But then
I don't think you can go wrong with Penta, dude.
Yeah. So, and then you had Seth coming out, and him and Cody, man. Okay, I was like, oh my god, is Cody about to turn? And there's something going on. This is the second time the two of them have kind of come face to face, and nothing's happened. And I don't know, man. I feel like something's on the horizon with Cody. Supposedly,
gotta be.
Supposedly, Rock was in favor of, pushing to have him turn. I think they got enough top guys that they can afford to have. They can afford to have him be a heel, but I'm sure Cody loves those royalty checks from the merch that CM Punk's openly talked about how much more money you make as a face from the merch.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. You're selling shirt hand over fist, autographs hand over fist, like it's straight up.
But I think it's also been shown that heels people still like to buy heel merch if they're a good heel. So
and I think Cody has that ability. I really do.
Yeah. Seth even brought up like at some point it's kind of like been brought up like, hey, Seth did what he did. He sacrificed himself for Cody. There's a lot of story in that, based off of everything from, their initial feud to the way everything happened at WrestleMania 40. All those guys cheating to, overthrow Roman was, horrible, but...
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Worst wrestling main event ever, Roman losing. God. But,
yeah. You should have been here. It was great.
But yeah, no, again, there's so much backstory that is there with Cody and Seth. Obviously, Roman is gonna get thrown in there at some point. His vacation's still ongoing, obviously, so we'll see about that. But no, man. Basically, it was a fire ending to Raw though, and left us with a lot of what ifs and looking forward to SmackDown. And so kind of leading to that. You didn't get to watch much of SmackDown, you said, but, I'll kind of go through it. It actually, started off with LA Knight and Paul Heyman interacting, which led to Braun and Bronson coming out. They put a beat down, but then LA Knight got a chair, held him off. They did a thing where it was going to be Bronson versus LA Knight later, Fun little opening segment, LA Knight. Again, I'm happy to see him getting a spotlight with Seth's group. Rumors are he might be going to Raw. I think that's a really good move. Hopefully, breath of fresh air there. So, what do you think about that?
Dude, yeah, it's time. He showed up on Raw the other day. I was like, hopefully he's here. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's time for him.
Yeah, time for a change. So that's definitely entertaining. Then what ended up happening is you had mentioned, what's Cody and Jay. They, Cody came out and didn't even get to say anything really, and then Jay immediately did his entrance, and holy shit, Brady. Okay, here's the thing. He did the yeet 5-minute entrance and then restarted it again. It was so, which I guess SmackDown's 3 hours, they gotta fill time, so they're like, hell, do it, But it was definitely, it felt a bit this time felt a bit forced when he did the whole little thing again, because it even took him like 2 or 3 times for them to do it. But, it is what it is. He went out there, cut a promo, basically saying, they're gonna, fight each other, and then afterwards, they'll go yeet, whatever. It actually quickly got interrupted by Sami Zayn Sammy gave a great promo, and then Randy Orton came out, and then it was time for the Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn match. And
which crushed your dreams. What I tell you, bro, I told you this 2 weeks ago. Sammy will always break your heart. Always.
One day, just it's gonna happen. I have faith in Sami Zayn. He will be world champion someday, and it will be amazing. But it's obviously not going to be this year. So, short of I think right now the way it would most possibly happen. Oh no! Yep, that's it.
Chris's
right
heart.
Now, broken. Yep. Right now, the only way I see it happening anytime soon is if Jay gets it back. I can see Sammy turning, which would also be a little bit heartbreaking in terms of I want to see him. He's such a good ultimate underdog babyface, like one of the best since Daniel Bryan, in my opinion. And he was compared to Daniel Bryan in his early days. You know, he evolved and as a heel, incredibly entertaining also. But I think the only way I see him winning anytime soon is if, you know, Jay were to get it back and there's a really, really obviously good story there of Sammy turning on him possibly. But I'm probably just wishful thinking.
I read something earlier that if, you know, Sammy and them decide to go to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble, that Sammy actually might go over this year. So I kind of read that, just that little snippet on the internet, like, hey, it may be Sammy's time. Yes. They may give him that run.
I hope to God. I hope he just keeps saying every week he wants to win the world title and keeps doing it because he can get the fans behind him. It's very obvious they are still incredibly behind him. We'll see what happens, but I'm not ever gonna lose hope that Sami Zayn will be champion one day, and probably then immediately get jumped by Kevin Owens if he were to come back. Although that may be a while. Hopefully, you know, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Gotcha. So yeah, man, it was a good little match though. Him and Orton had a really fun match actually. But in the end, Orton went over. So yeah, and then
I think that Sammy, even if he goes to the Rumble in Saudi Arabia,
he will. He's been to Saudi already. Like, it's okay for him to go.
It's gonna break Chris's heart. He's gonna be number 29, number 30, and then you know who's gonna eliminate him to win?
Yeah. Who's that?
You do know?
No,
okay,
I don't.
No. That's okay. That's fine.
Who do you think is gonna eliminate him to win?
Bruh. Who do you think's gonna eliminate him to win?
Oh God. If CM Punk eliminates Sami Zayn, is that what you're saying?
Chicago. And then he's going to bring the title home after WrestleMania 42, Night 2 main event, all the way to Chicago.
Yeah.
It's going to be brilliant. Or Kevin Owens is going to come back and, you know, throw his ass over the rope. It's going to be one of the two. It's going to be great.
And you're just going to continue giving me shit every time Sammy loses now.
Yep.
But
that's gonna be every time Sammy loses, I'm gonna draw a heart. That's gonna be the new the new work in the crowd stick.
Chris's heartbreak every time Sammy loses. Yep. Anyways, moving on. I actually accidentally skipped a segment. But so SmackDown, the opening match was actually Alexa versus Asuka. It was a pretty fun match. Definitely a little bit weird. Because at one point, like, it was this weird thing where, like, Alexa had Asuka down and went up for a Twisted Bliss and then, like, decided not to do it. And kind of, that was weird, but then when she went for, like, another attempt on it later, and Asuka ended up just getting the win with her Empress, I don't even remember what they call it, the thing where she hits him with her butt, which is such a weird move to me. She makes it look better than a lot of other people that do it, but at the same time, she's got plenty of moves to finish with, so I don't know. But it turns out we were right when we said we didn't like Alexa's chances against Asuka, but Asuka's moving on. They did a quick little promo with Jade backstage, you know. She's saying, you know, she's going to, because it's Jade versus Roxanne on Monday, and I'm gonna be beyond shocked if Jade doesn't, win that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Short of Naomi coming out and screwing her over, I don't see how Jade won't win that one. Because at this point, I kind of think it's gonna be I see Jade winning and facing Naomi at SummerSlam. That's what I see happening. We'll see how that goes. I'm enjoying Naomi. So
you're what with Naomi?
I'm enjoying Naomi. I think she is getting. I'm enjoying the character more. I'm getting more behind it. Again, I'm not saying this is the greatest heel character I've ever seen from a woman, but like she's getting better, and I've always enjoyed her in the ring personally. So, but we'll see how it goes with that. But yeah, they definitely put over. Just the fact that they had Jade talking about facing Asuka was. I think that's obviously the direction they're going, which makes sense. I think that's a good match for the finals. But
yeah. Do you think that if Night of Champions was not at Saudi Arabia, do you think maybe Alexa might have gone over, or are they going to give her the big spot we thought she was going to get, or is she just still going to just mingle? You know what I mean? Or is she just mingling around? Like,
I see her maybe eventually getting. I don't know that I don't know. I mean, I think if she kind of keeps catching on with fans, right now they're doing something with her and Charlotte. Like there was an interaction backstage after she lost, and then a match later with Charlotte and Chelsea. Actually, very quick match. Charlotte went over, got jumped by the Hervis, and Alexa came out and saved Charlotte from the beatdown. But Charlotte pretty much ignored her afterwards and didn't acknowledge it. But there's more story there, which I'm willing to give that time to grow and see how it goes. I see Alexa winning a mid card title at some point. I don't know if she's going to go world champion again. I think there's a lot of people that are ahead of her, and we'll see how that goes though. But yeah. But then it was actually they were almost had a match between Aleister Black and Kit Wilson from Pretty Deadly, but Ron Killens came out and beat the crap out of Kit, and the match never happened, and he demanded John Cena right then and there, which didn't happen because it was the middle of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, they actually had an argument with Ron and Aleister in the back, and then Damian Priest came in and basically said, hey, you gotta wait for Cena, and not to mess with other people's matches, and he kind of was like, hey, let's go, let's cool down. So kind of a little throwback of their history of Judgment Day, Damian Priest stepping in there with him. Aleister was none too pleased, and we might see something with Aleister and Damian later, which I'm all for. I think that'd be a fun match. So,
do you feel like they're doing Aleister justice with his return?
Not quite yet. I think he needs to get more time to talk, personally. Although he's not as good of a talker as Rusev. The obvious comparison that's going to continue to be made because they came back, the same week, both from AEW, is Rusev versus, who's getting the better, rub and looking better. Rusev's promos are putting him over. Absolutely. Again, I said this before, his Redeemer gimmick in AEW was amazing. I think if he hadn't gotten hurt, it could have really played up into something really big. But he's doing this basically the same thing, just not calling himself the Redeemer now. And I think he's catching on. His promos demand attention because they're really good, and he's looking great in the ring. Aleister, other than the ring work, hasn't shown as much, and he's not as good of a promo. But I think he needs time to get there. So
his character is the exact same character though when he left WWE.
Yeah.
Now he's back. It is the literal exact same character.
Yeah, I mean,
Rusev has evolved.
Yeah,
Rusev is not the same.
I mean, we were at the his return back, and probably half the crowd was chanting "Welcome back," but not all of them, and so definitely not as big of a. He hasn't been making as big of an impact yet, but Triple H is clearly a fan of his, so we'll see how that goes. I think he's going to give him chances to shine, but he probably only gets so many.
Yeah, for sure.
But after that, you had see, I skipped ahead earlier. You had the Randy and Sammy match, so we won't go back to that because you're an asshole about it. So, but They did have a quick little Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton segment. Pretty interesting. They're gonna have I think it's gonna be a last woman standing match next week.
Nice.
I'm all for that. When you give Nia Jax a chance in a good 20-ish minute match, I don't think there's a single time in the last year she hasn't shown up and made those matches entertaining. So
dude, whenever we went to Monday Night Raw and we saw Bayley versus Nia, dude, that was the match of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was definitely something to look forward to. Nia basically said, think you can beat me without kicking me in the face of the chair, because that's how the last one ended, where she busted her open with a chair and got the moonsault. So very, very interested in that. Nia actually jumped Tiffany at one point, and then Naomi came out and jumped her with the briefcase. And she was about to cash in, but Nia ended up flooring Naomi. And now that I'm saying this again and connecting the dots, might be in for cash in next week.
I've actually read that. Next week may be the week that Naomi cashes in.
Yep. Again, I'm for it. I'm for it. We'll see what happens. The match will probably be good though, so I'm looking forward to that. Just all around, seeing what might happen afterwards. But yeah. Then you had after that was Solo, the wannabe tribal chief that never was. And you had him going out to basically try to clear the air with Jacob Fatu, and he told JC Mateo to stay back but keep an eye on things. And so he went out there basically saying he's the one that gave Fatu a chance. Fatu fired back saying he was selfish, and basically he did not align back with Solo at all. And big old brawl ensued. Jimmy Uso actually came out, and they kind of the two of them took them out. And fun little segment. Once again, Fatu is amazing. Crowd was eating up every word he said. He ended up challenging Solo to a U.S. title match at Night of Champions, so that's happening. Yep. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. I see this being I thought they were going to build that up to SummerSlam, especially with 2 nights. I think, depending on how the match goes, I definitely think they can. I wouldn't even mind if they had Solo win it in shady fashion and Jacob gets it back at SummerSlam or something, gets a moment like that. So, but it was good. Fatu's definitely gonna bring it, and always excited to see him. So, what do you think? What do you think about how that how they've been going and what's coming with them?
I love Fatu. Everything that Fatu is doing is gold. Every bit of it. And I cannot wait. I know it sucks that I missed SmackDown tonight, but
yeah,
life. I can't wait until Fatu's on the screen, especially he's straight up. He's the only member of the bloodline that I want to actually see. So
wait, what? Are you forgetting anyone there?
Who?
You asshole. See, one of these days, I'm going to save it for later, but one of these days, your many videos of acknowledging Roman will come to light. So I'm going to save them, though. But they're there, and you know it. So.
Though, AI is really, really great technology.
See, these videos are several years old, and AI was not a thing back then, so don't even.
No, those videos were 100% generated by you in some bullshit AI app. Fucking funded.
When the videos come out, we'll let people decide. There's also a text message thread of you acknowledging it.
That's okay. I've got just as much shit on you to my dude. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes then. After that, Bronson Reed came out and had the match of the only night. Not really much to say there. I mean, without even telling you what happened, what do you think happened?
Yeah, I know what happened.
Yeah. Interference, they jumped LA at the end, all that, so only won by disqualification, but they beat him up at the end. So that furthers the feud there. Hoping to see more of him, hopefully on Raw in the near future. Yeah. But yeah, that was.
I want LA Knight to be a world champion.
I absolutely do too. He deserves it.
Give him one run. I don't care if it's even 2 months long. One run.
Yeah, he proved when he feuded with Roman for 1 month that he can absolutely be that top guy. Like there was zero doubt he belonged.
And then LA Knight, like a fucking classic Stone Cold entrance, bro. That just made my heart fucking.
And you still have to show that shit to me every time you feel like it. Just
damn right, bro. That is favoritism the bone.
Yep. But then we got to the main event of SmackDown. Oh, wait. I'm gonna just get a little something here. Just.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We had Unseen 17, the greatest of all time, versus Ron, the Truth Killings, or Ron Killings, or whatever they want to call it now. But the match was nothing to write home about, let's be honest. You know, it never was going to be. But at the end, Cena ended up, clocking Ron Killings with the belt. And then, who came out?
The punker.
The punker? Your boy CM Punk came out?
Yeah, and you know what?
What happened to CM Punk, man? What happened to CM Punk, Brady?
Here's the good news. Generally, whenever you get fucked up like that right before a big title match, that's good news for you. That means you're gonna fuck that dude up in the title match.
So here's the thing: the go home segment is not till next Friday, so you can't say that because I'm betting your boy Punk stands tall in the go home segment, and which if you're going by that logic, we'll see what happens.
So here's how I feel about it. I think it's fantastic that they did a reverse pop bomb.
Oh yeah,
I think that's fucking cool. Like,
just point blank, that was amazing, and the crowd was eating it up. Yes. They were cheering Cena. Again, even though he's heel, he's never gonna not get the love and respect he deserves from the crowd. But the promo was amazing though.
Well, even the promo video that they made earlier in the show, I saw that.
Yeah,
dude, fantastic. Like chef kiss. That's 100%. That's the way that a feud's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and I love that they're bringing that energy to this. So. One thing that sticks out like a sore motherfucking thumb, and I'm gonna say it that way, is that big ass Slim Jim fucking ad right in the middle of the table.
Oh dude. My god. Okay, I'm gonna say this, Brady. I'm gonna go on a little tirade about this. There used to be one of the companies I used to work for. There used to be a rule. They had like official, in their company website rules, and then they had other rules that was posted in the back room of every store. One of those rules is no recreational bitching. You know what that means? Quit bitching just for the sake of bitching. And this is something that so many people do, and it's a perfect example. Because let me just the real honest truth. We can clip this if you want. The real honest truth. Ads on the mat or on the screen do not take away from the quality of a match. A Slim Jim on the table does not take away from the effectiveness of what happened. People are bitching about these things just because they want to bitch about something. And
I'm not bitching
it's truth.
I want to bitch.
You are absolutely bitching because you want to bitch.
No, I'm not.
Yes. They moved. WrestleMania's in Vegas again. It literally affects nothing to you, but you bitched about it. That's recreational bitching.
Do you not remember when they put all the ads in the middle of the Monday Night Raw ring? That shit is a little distracting. It really is. For me.
Not for me. Again, it's really and truly when you at first it's different, but it really and truly is not. It's really not. You're just doing it because not you specifically, but yes, you specifically. People are doing it because they want to bitch. It really is. They just no, it's different than I remember. It's they're money grabbing and even though they're raising prices. Okay, raising prices is worth bitching about, but putting ads on there, it does not take away from the quality of a match. It really and truly doesn't. People just are bitching because they want to bitch.
So the Slim Jim logo on that table pissed me off. I'll end it right there.
Okay.
Didn't
couldn't care less. It did absolutely zero to take away from the effectiveness of that segment. It did zero to take away from that effectiveness.
You have opinions? I also have opinions, and mine are just as valid as yours. So, do I think it took away from Cena and Punk? Absolutely not. Do I want to see a big-ass motherfucking logo on top of CM Punk's head? No, I don't. I want to see a smashed-up table, bruh. That's what I want to see. That's the end of it. Done. I don't want to say another word about it.
My opinion is it's recreational bitching, and everyone complaining about it is just They just want to complain, which goes into okay. So it goes into the thing. Nick Khan was on Stephanie's show recently, and said the thing that pretty much everyone already knew and has been discussed for years, and anybody that didn't already know this, it was, you're stupid for not realizing it from the first place. But Nick Khan said, we're booking for the WWE universe as a whole, not for the diehard internet fans.
Yeah.
Anyone who is shocked or upset, if you don't like that, I get not liking it, but if you're going to pretend to be surprised and outraged over it, it's been that way for years, and you're stupid for not realizing it, okay? We are the internet wrestling crowd, but I've accepted a long time ago that I'm not the, if my, hardcore fan booking were to happen, guess what? That's what. But, if it were you, guess what? Punk will be a champ, but, he's never going to be. We're never going to get Punk side plates. But...
Going back to John Cena and Punk, I think that the reverse pop bomb was fucking awesome.
Yes.
Regardless of how much I hated it, because it was Cena delivering those lines. Fucking goddamn Cena.
Yep.
It was fantastic, and
Dude,
I didn't watch SmackDown,
did you see the end, the last second of the show? What Cena did? Let me give you a holding up the belt.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That was a perfect throwback end, dude. That was great. That was a chef's kiss. Also, that was such a great throwback to Punk doing it.
This is the feud that we were talking about when Cena came back in January. Straight up, this is the feud we wanted to see, and it sucks that I missed it live happening. But I'm going to go back and rewatch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Cena throwing him through the table, him laying there, just like the exact same ending before Punk gave his pop bomb. Like, dude, come on.
Dude, threw out some names even.
Yes.
Matt Cardona, Claudio Castagnolo, and Nick Nemeth. Cardona and Nick Nemeth, not surprised about that. Claudio Castagnolo, though, he's straight up in AEW, so that was a bit of a surprise. But no, it doesn't hurt anything,
What was the reasoning behind that, you wonder?
Just because in Punk's original pipe bomb, he threw out, Colt Cabana, blah, blah, blah. Just so he was just throwing out random names that weren't in WWE the same way, Punk did, was what I thought. So, yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to see what happens. Like, straight up, next week, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, and you're going to be watching it live while I'm at freaking work. God.
Damn right, I'm going to be watching it live. You better call in, bro. This is going to be monumental. Like, straight up, it's not going to be. Listen, and I know this for a fact. People are expecting CM Punk versus John Cena from 2011. That's just not going to. It's just not. Like, we're going to get a good, solid match, probably 15, 20 minutes. Like, we will.
I think it'll be longer. I mean, Cena and Orton went 25 or 30 minutes, or they went quite a while. I think it'll be a longer match. It's just not going to be the same as a, Punk versus Cody 30-minute match, or, literally anyone else but Cena 30-minute match at this point, practically. But it's okay. It doesn't have to be.
I think the match is going to be more storytelling than...
Yeah. I didn't think Orton versus Cena was a bad match. It wasn't the match of the year or the night even, but, it was still, for what it was entertaining. So
I hope that we do see Punk go over.
Yeah.
I want to see it happen. It's very, very unlikely that it will. I don't see that Punk's going to pick that title up at Night of Champions halfway through Cena's run. I don't see it.
Unless burn it down.
A cash in. But even if I don't think even if Cena drops the belt to Punk, I don't think they're going to end the night that way. I mean, I think that if Punk wins the belt, that's going to be a bigger deal than what we even think about.
Yeah.
I know you want that to happen just to spite me. I get it. Just so that will forever go down as the biggest fuck you to Brady, and I get it.
Yes, it will, and I will never let you live it down if it does. So.
And I will be very okay and happy. Dude, the hat looked good, bro. Hat looked good.
Well,
I'd be happy just to say, hey man, Punk won, cash in happened, they put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
So
I'll be trying to sneak some looks on my phone during it. I know myself. There's no way I'm not gonna be able to There's no way I'm not gonna get spoiled because I can't stay off the internet all day.
Oh, no.
It's so the fact that I know that I won't be able to avoid the spoilers. I'm not even gonna try. So it is what it is, and we'll have to just talk about it afterwards.
I will be at the ranch watching that live with the family, and yep. I'm super excited. My little brother's going to be in town from LA.
Oh, cool.
His
nice.
Significant other's going to be down, and he's a big wrestling fan, which is cool.
Go.
It's going to be our first show to watch together. And I think that night, after everything, you and I need to have a little record sesh and talk about...
Is there even a little bit of a chance you'll be sober by then?
Very unlikely, which will make the show even greater. So...
Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, we'll see how all that goes then, but yeah.
But no, like, I really think that Punk and Cena main event... I think it's wild that it's happening in Saudi Arabia. I really do. But I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like, again, we've talked about it. It doesn't really matter where the matches are happening. As long as they're happening, I'm still a fan. I'm going to watch it regardless of where they are.
Yeah.
And people on the internet, like you said, people bitching to bitch, going and talking shit about what Punk was saying. Like, at the end of the day, we've evolved. Saudi Arabia, not as a whole, but in this portion, like in this business, is evolving. Like
there's too many. There's too many other businesses that are doing business out there to just there's just too much money, and there's too many other businesses that are doing that because those people have so much money. So it is what it is. Punk going out there, he's doing a job. He's not. I think everyone's kind of past trying to pretend like, oh, you're supporting anything that goes on over there. It is what it is, and they're doing a job, and regardless, I hope it's a good match and a good show, so.
And it will be. The only time that you ever see a bad Saudi Arabia show is whenever they focus it fully on legends. Like,
which they're just pretty much, at this point, it's pretty obvious that they're not even trying to do that anymore, so I'm okay.
Good.
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I don't need to see fucking Goldberg versus fucking Undertaker or Brock Lesnar come back to, F5 whoever. I don't need to see that shit.
Yeah.
I need to see the current product. And if they're able to do it, fucking great.
Yeah.
But I feel like we kind of blew through this, man. We've been barely recording for an hour.
Yeah. No, we definitely, we had 2 shows to cover, so we're kind of... got a little off topic a couple times. I went on a little rant there with the recreational bitching stuff. But...
Which I find very fucking hilarious, by the way. I've never heard the term recreational bitching.
It was so funny because, literally, like I said, they would print out, like, you had your official company guidelines by the little booklet they had, and then every store had a printed out sheet of the other rules, and I don't remember any of the rest of them, but... It was similar stuff, just in less PC terms, but no recreational bitching. And they would mention that none of the people, higher ups, they would mention that in a heartbeat if someone brought up something that was just like, you're just complaining for the sake of it. Quit. No recreational bitching. Shut up. Like it was.
Yeah.
And it's true sometimes, like we all do. We all do it. Like I said, there's a bunch of things that. I bitch about, CM Punk, but it's, we all do it, but it's a truth. And, like I said, the booking for the larger audience is, again, nothing surprising, and it's what's been done for years. And it's the reason that they're making more money than ever because, all you hear on the internet wrestling community is WWE's being ruined, but they're selling out arenas all over the place still.
No, WWE is WWE. It's a wrestling show, and people are going to fucking go watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, they're booking stuff that people are keeping people tuned in, and like I said, until these expensive tickets stop selling, they're going to keep doing it, and whatever they're doing, and from a business perspective, is working. I would love to see certain things happen. I don't know if it's business sense that Sami Zayn will ever win the World Heavyweight Championship, but
he could go to
what are you gonna
he
do?
could go down to like AEW and maybe win a championship because they can fill
That's
like
not
a
what I want to
40,000
see.
stadium with like 30 people.
That's
So
not what I
it's
want to
like
see, Brady. I want him to win the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE or the WWE Championship. But
speaking.
again, I from a perspective of what's better for business and all that, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Yeah.
Speaking, I know we're WWE centric, but I just want to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Speaking of AEW show,
Coming up,
that's
man. It's coming up. Yeah.
It's coming up very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna see some cool shit. I think because I mean, we're gonna see Sasha or Mercedes Moné versus Tony Storm, dude.
Oh, I'm absolutely. So this is the thing. I'm absolutely keeping up with YouTube segments every
Yeah.
week of that because they are both like incredibly entertaining, and that is absolutely a huge match and very smart on them for pretty much building up to this. A year down the line with Mercedes. Shit.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be a great match because Mercedes does not know how to put on a bad match, in my opinion, for the most part. I mean, but like she's amazing. Tony is arguably the female of last year and this and could become this year. She's great. Just Tony's just beyond amazing. So yeah,
I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan. Huge.
Oh yeah,
I met him at Disney World. I finally get to go see him live. Like
and him versus Okada, that is absolutely going to be. There's literally no way that match won't be awesome. It'll probably get 8 stars from Metzer.
Dude, I cannot wait. Like, I know that
they have the only 7-star match from Metzer, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Like he's given some 6 and 6.5s. They have so in his mind he will always tell people like, well, what's the greatest match of all time? Well, if you look at my star ratings, it's the Kenny Omega Okada match from one of the New Japan ones. So this match it's no way it's not going to be awesome. Let's be honest. So.
The one thing I'm not really looking forward to, don't really care about, and I hate to say this, but I don't care about the World Championship match with Jon Moxley, like, because I know that it's just going to be a gore fest.
Like, I think, yeah, it'll probably be bloody and stuff, which I don't think that's gonna have the same like. I don't like seeing it on TV up close personally. We're kind of both past that, being into those kinds of matches, which is what it is. I don't think it'll be the same effect, live. Hopefully, be a good match. But dude, Hangman, yeah, I know you're a fan of him, so I think if he can pull it off, I think you'll be pretty excited.
Yeah, and that show starts at like 1 in the afternoon, which is kind of weird.
Well, they put on these like marathon shows, so
yeah,
I don't know, man. That's one of the even the diehards seem to kind of. Yeah, some of these shows they tried stuff too much in them, which I get the idea behind it, but
and then
we'll see.
There's a little baseball stadium about 30 miles away from here. Not to dox myself, but they're giving away like AEW tickets at this point, trying to fill that stadium.
Yeah. So last I had heard was like something in the vicinity of like 15,000 tickets sold, which. 15,000 is a good number. Is it a good number for a baseball stadium?
Not that seats 40,000 people. It's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a problem because 15,000 people can damn near sit on the floor. So it's like, or even in the first little ring.
Yeah, that's it's unfortunate. I really and truly, even though. If it came down to it, yeah, if I had gun in my head and had to pick one, obviously I'd pick WWE. But really and truly, I wish that all the wrestlers were getting to show what they can do in front of 10 to 20,000 people each week because they are that good. They really are. There's some amazing talent there. I wish they had a bigger audience, but they don't. So that's sad to see that some of these not even able to fill some of the smaller arenas. I wish that they would get back to where they were a few years ago because really and truly I think it's great that people have an alternative to WWE because much as that we're WWE diehards, Lord knows we don't have our criticisms about them, or we do. I mean, so to have an alternative is great, and it's also great for the talent, which but I'm hoping you have a blast at that show and that it's a good time. So yeah, I hope it's a good show.
Well, I got in early. My ticket was $30, so like.
I will say that there's literally zero way you won't get your money's worth in.
Oh no, yeah. I mean,
you're gonna spend more on beers at that place, aren't you?
I mean, probably, absolutely.
Between you and Shane, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Brady. I will not be able to pick you up from that stadium. Just FYI, okay?
One time.
Never gonna let you forget it though.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful blackmail.
Yep.
So, gonna move on.
Okay.
And we do have a Roman lost at WrestleMania 41 for the second year in a row. Question of the night.
Let me have it. That's not the name of this permanently, by the way. We're going to come up with a better one, but let me have it.
Okay. Serious question.
Yep.
If Cody had never shown up at WrestleMania 38, forget he has existed.
Yeah.
Who would have been the guy to dethrone Roman?
Easy. It's Sammy.
Oh.
Dude, okay,
really?
bro, no.
Okay.
Be honest. You and I watched the Elimination Chamber live when that story built up to that. Everyone was saying that the obvious hot feud was Sammy and Roman, but they had too much riding on Cody and were too determined for him to be that guy, which, hey, long term, Cody was clearly the better choice long term, no doubt. But I have zero doubt in my mind that they knew that it was losing some of his luster, at that point. I have zero doubt that if everything else with them had gone exactly the same of that Bloodline story, because I've said before, Brady, 2022 Bloodline, some of the best wrestling of the last 10 years, in my opinion, as far as the stories and drama and everything. You were there at the Royal Rumble when Sammy, another thing I'm jealous of you for, you throwing those credit cards down on some of those big shows back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because you've seen some pretty amazing moments. But you saw Sammy turn finally on Roman, and that story was just to say, I mean, that was so good. In that match at Elimination Chamber, you and I were not even on the edge of our seats. We were out of our seats standing up in a living room, just the two of us, like, oh my God. So yes, absolutely, 100%. I think they would have pulled the trigger on Sammy then because it just made too much sense. It would have made too much sense not to. They had already had 3 years of Roman at that point. If they weren't, long-terming Cody, I think Sammy. What about you?
So
there's another obvious answer, but sorry.
Well, I mean, what is the other obvious answer?
To me, well, the J, because he was hot.
He was.
The SummerSlam, the SummerSlam, which now that I'm thinking of this.
Yeah.
How many freaking GIFs and memes did you throw my way from Jay turning on Roman?
Such good shit, dude.
You've sent me those multiple super kick GIFs so many times, and
hey, you're out. Hey, and I'm out too. Pow! Fucking the best. That is the anyway.
So that's the other obvious to me. But what are you thinking?
I do think that if Cody would have never shown up, that would have been the perfect opportunity to do the Roman versus Seth feud. Like straight up, big build, give it 4 months, and let the payoff be Seth going over. We've talked about this 100 times too.
Yeah.
If you could get that story just straight up, even if just eliminate Punk from WrestleMania 41, I'm okay with that. If you would have had Roman versus Seth in a main event for a title, and Seth went over and actually beat Roman, come on, dude. Seth carried the World Heavyweight Championship for over a year, and he did just as good of a job, if not better, than.
Are you talking about the current World Heavyweight, or before?
The World Heavyweight. No. So whenever he had the World Heavyweight Championship, he carried that belt, and he made that belt what it is today. Yeah. Seth did. He could have done the exact same thing with the WWE Undisputed Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, man, and you have to admit, even just a little, Roman having the belt, it was great. It was a great story when that motherfucker was there, and that's you. you kind of stop losing the love for it whenever you're only seeing him there once every 30, 45 days. Like, you saw Seth.
I got used to it from the Brock stuff. I got used to it, to be honest. That if at the Brock stuff, when Brock did it first, it was frustrating, but I kind of got used to it. You know why? Because Paul Heyman sold me on it. He sold me on it by saying, "Well, hey, if they're defending the belt every week, those defenses don't mean as much." I bought into that, and I'll admit it. I kind of I got sold on it, and I got used to it, so that's why. But yeah, no, Seth would have been a great choice though. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, Seth carried that World Heavyweight Championship, and he was there every week. Did he defend it every week? No, he didn't. Yeah. He defended it once a month. But the fact is, he was there every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where I lost my lust for the Undisputed Championship. Is like, dude, I want to see Roman. I want him here. Like, when we went to shows, and like, he was the champion on that show, and he didn't show up. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, everyone wants to be there.
I think the last year was really hard. Like, they did the Bloodline breaking up stuff. As much as I hated you giving me shit about them, Roman losing at Money in the Bank in the tag match, and then getting super kicked afterward, and that was some pretty fire stuff, though, I'll admit. But other than that, though, that last year, really and truly, I believe 39 was the time to do it, because the last year of his reign was pretty not as good as the rest. Like I said, the Jay stuff was entertaining. It was great storytelling. LA Knight, great. 1 month feud, but it was great. It was hard to get into after that, though, especially. And so I think 39, I think everything up until 39 made all the sense in the world, but he should have probably dropped it then. And like I said, given the story that was being told at that time, I think, I still say Sammy would have been the choice, but I don't think anyone would have, I'm sure if they had decided to do it with Seth, that they could have also gone that route, and it would have been good also, but yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude, that wraps that up. Yeah, we definitely need to come up, and if anybody here in the comments, give us a good type for a random question of the night. Like,
we've been racking our brains on it, and we'll think about it and then move on to other stuff when we don't think of something good. But we're gonna come up with something. Until then, Brady's probably gonna keep on making up some shithead Roman losing name to it, and I'm gonna let him do it until I think of a name. So I'll allow it for now.
It's good shit, dude. Tell me it's not.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Anyway, hey guys, we super appreciate you coming in, checking us out. We are Working the Crowd. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever, TikTok, YouTube, all the fun stuff. We're here. Drop us a line. Send us an email. Help. Comment. Tell us where we're wrong. I don't care. Let's have fun with it. So,
yes, especially if you disagree with Brady, please tell him. That's mostly important.
Let me know.
Yes,
because I like to talk shit on the internet. That's my thing. So come on, let's go.
All right. But yeah, other than that, again, give us a like, subscribe, follow, all that if you see any of these, and especially comment. We'd love to interact with anybody. So other than that, we got hopefully a couple good shows coming up, and then Night of Champions. So we'll probably try to regroup sometime next week, or maybe after Night of Champions. Hopefully Brady is coherent by that time.
Yeah. I think after SmackDown or after Night of Champions, that would be a great time to reconvene. So,
yeah.
Again, I'm Brady. That's Chris, and I'm gonna sign off with this: fuck Roman Reigns.
You suck.